Right, speaking with Canvey Island manager Mark Bentley. Mark, first of all, how are you?
Yeah, good. Thanks, Glenn. It's obviously a real strange time. Very strange. Just trying to keep everyone busy, the kids, and doing jobs we'd never be doing this time of year. The house has never been cleaner. So just trying to get on with the world, and just hopefully this doesn't go on for too long.
Sure, absolutely, absolutely. So, what does an average day in lockdown look like for you?
Up to last week, obviously the kids were sort of homeschooling. So I've got a 13 and an 11-year-old. The 13-year-old, as you can imagine, boy, he's very reluctant to do any kind of work, or the work he does do, he does within about 20 minutes. So my daughter's a little bit more motivated in that sense. But fighting with them in the morning, trying to get the work done. I'm still teaching online as well through this Zoom app. Trying to teach 17-year-old kids, 30 of them.
Okay.
It's a challenge, but it needs to be done. We need to tick boxes and make sure we're doing things right still. Funny enough, we're on half term now, which doesn't really make much sense. So we've gone into another break, but it's been quite challenging the last couple of weeks to try and obviously teach online and keep up to date with everything and trying to maintain the guys in terms of their work and stuff. So now this week is just running through the list of the jobs the wife's mate got me to do.
Good luck for you. Yes, I mean, it feels a bit trivial to talk about football about a time like this, but I think we need to. First and foremost, the decision to end the season and to expunge the results. What were your views on that? Were you in agreement? I know others have looked at a points per game way of sorting out the season. What was your view?
Yeah, it's a real tough era, really, because there's going to be some happy managers and there's going to be some very disappointed ones. And I certainly know a lot of the managers, obviously, in our league and other leagues as well, who are going to take a hit on this. And there's always going to be room for argument. But I think for us personally, did it really matter whether the season ended? Probably not. Was we playing for anything? Very, very outside chance of doing anything in terms of the playoffs. But you've got to feel, I'll be honest with you, you've got to feel for teams like Malden, who have basically just walked the league this year. They deserve to be promoted. So whether that should have been into a points per game, it's just a real grey area, really. Obviously, a decision had to be made. Obviously, the decisions even higher up, and you look at the Premier League now. There's still that decision could still change. So it's just a real tough one to take. You've got to swallow, and you've got to swallow it, unfortunately. And I think if we were walking the league, I'd be devastated. And I'd fight probably to try and make sure we get ourselves promoted, or we at least have a chance to play in the playoffs. So, and if you're in that relegation zone, obviously you're the one could be happy now that you've sort of dodged a bullet, so to speak. But a real tough one. I can't really answer it, to be fair, because it didn't really affect us. Like I say, I know there's going to be some disappointing managers out there, but also there'll be some relieved ones as well.
Indeed. Focusing on us then, so if you compare your expectations at the start of the season versus how we kind of ended up in the end, what was your assessment of
that? Disappointed. I think everyone as a collective, not just myself, players, my other staff members, and obviously the committee as well. So there was listen, I want to win as many games as possible. I've come to the club to try and change things, and I want to get the club back into the Prem. So my ambition this year was to reach the players minimum. We've fallen quite short as you look at the season ending straight away. We're 10, 11 points short of that. So disappointing. Like I say, just because we're Canvey Island Football Club, we're a big club in the league, as everyone says, and reminds me all the time. Certainly when they beat us, they like to remind us, we're the big club, we shouldn't be losing to these sides. But it is what it is, and those sort of things we have to overcome. And home form, especially, certainly the last few months, it hasn't been good enough, and it sort of carries on from my time since I've been at the club. I speak, obviously, Hillsey, we speak to, and Brad. We can't put our finger on why we can't get this home form going. So I look at our away form this year. I thought it was very good. I think certainly at the beginning of the season, we had some real positive results. We've had some good cup runs. We've earned the club some good money this year. Runs that we haven't had in the past few years. So yeah, listen, league form disappointing. Cup runs, yeah, we could take the positives there, but you live by your league position. And for me, for the season to finish how it has, I'm disappointed.
You mentioned the cup games, and we did have extensive cup campaigns in both the FA Cup and the FA Trophy. In retrospect, do you think that, I mean, we had a lot of replays as well, and we played a lot of football without actually registering many points on the board in the league, just due to the sheer amount of cup games. Do you think all that additional football that eventually obviously equated to 0 points had a hindrance on our league season?
Possibly, yeah. Obviously, it's great in the FA Cup, and the FA Cup run we did have was really good. And when you look back, you think how close we were. If we'd have beaten Bowes in the penalty shootout, Chichester, and obviously what happened to them. So that's what you dream about, really, and certainly at this level of football. But a cup competition is important, certainly financially for the club, and it's important revenue we made this year. FA Trophy, again, we got through a couple of rounds as well, so we can look at that as a positive. Yeah, it might have hindered the season a bit. I've never known a season like it in terms of, when I look back last year, we played Saturday. There was no Tuesday night games. You're sort of scrambling around for friendlies, putting on extra training sessions or extended training sessions. But this year, I think we've had a handful of Tuesday nights where we could actually get on the training pitch. So I could sort of identify certainly around November, December, where we needed to work on a lot of things, and we just couldn't, because you're playing Saturday, Tuesday, you need to recover on Thursday, you sort of walk through stuff. Yeah, we can look at that as a bit of a hindrance sort of thing, and but we still need to be better. I think if you ask any footballer, they'd rather play games than train in a way. And we should have brought that confidence with those cup games into our league programme.
Sure. And as you say, overall, bit of a tinge of disappointment for the season, but there were some good matches, good victories in there as well. Do any stand out to you as particular highlights over the course of the season?
Yeah, the early ones. I think the last minute winner when we beat Grays real early on.
Yeah.
Against my old club, and obviously the return of Hallett, and it was just a bit of you couldn't write it any better really for the last minute. We've had a couple of last minute ones. I think the Bury Town victory away was really good, really positive. I think we hadn't won there for a while. All the FA Cups game, even the Bowers game, I think we more than matched Bowers over the 2 games, and I actually thought we were the better side in the second game as well. And obviously to lose it on penalties was gutting, but it is what it is. Yeah, so there's been some positive ones, but there's certainly been some disasters as well.
Indeed. But no, I think there was, as you say, there was lots of some very good performances. Inconsistency obviously costing us dear in the end, really.
Yeah, like I say, that carries on again from whatever it was last year. I've got no excuses. It was my squad this year, and I'd say consistently, I thought the first part of the season, I thought we were very good. We started very well. We had a really good pre-season as well, and we took that into our league programme as well. But we just couldn't get those 2, 3, 4 wins on the bounce. Which, when you look at the Morgans, Aveleys, Haybridge, and others who are up there, that's what you need to do at any level of football. So those sort of things breed confidence, and you should be able to get back-to-back and more victories.
And you mentioned the squad. If you compare the squad that you started the season with versus the team that you finished off with, how do you think those two sides compare? Do you think we got stronger as the season went on, or do you think it kind of weakened up slightly?
I think with what I've got now, I think we're stronger. I think we lost key players at vital times. I think when Darren Phillips come in January, I thought we were a totally different animal in terms of we were crying out for that type of centre-half. Unfortunately, Darren picked up an injury after a few games, and then you drop in Whiteley back, who, to be fair, has been outstanding this year. I thought James White, and looks like a natural centre-half. He won't like me saying it, but he does. But I thought them two were real solid. But don't get it wrong, Finn has obviously come back in and he scored some good goals, and his performances were very good. I just think at that point, Lockie, we lost Lockie as well. He went away for a few games. Went to Kilimanjaro when he was sort of real coming into his own, and then decided to unfortunately retire which I thought was a bit of a miss for us. And then obviously, and Sam Bantic as well. I thought Spano was a massive positive for us to get him over the line finally. He started really well, and then he's picked up an injury and an illness. So this, as a manager, you can make those excuses that we had key players missing at a vital time, I think, and certainly when you're playing the big games and the 6 pointers in terms of teams around you.
Yep, indeed. Obviously, we don't know how long this situation at the moment is going to go on for. Who knows? But at what point do you start thinking about next season for yourself?
I haven't really stopped, if I'm honest, and I think every manager will be like this as well. It's like now the season we know it's done and dusted, and I think it's about drawing up your lists and trying to figure out which players you want, which areas of the pitch you think you can make better. I think it's quite important that I don't go gung ho and change the squad around massively. I don't want 8 players to leave and 8 players to come in. And I think the squad I've got is more than capable, but they need to be more consistent. That's down to them as well. I think I'm a manager who breeds confidence in players, and I don't put loads of pressure on them. I want them to play in the right way. But some players, if they can't handle to go and express themselves, and when it gets nitty gritty and they can't roll their sleeves up, that's going to be a big problem. And there are some key areas of the pitch where we need to improve on, but also be aware we've got some good players in this squad at the moment. Forgot to mention Lamar, obviously, when he the first part of the season, how good Lamar was in goal for us, and to lose him, obviously, since Christmas, how well Rob Budd done when he come in. I think Lamar's character was something we missed as well. So I think I need a little bit of character in the dressing room. We are a quiet dressing room. I think I said it certainly last month. We're a very nice team, very nice set of lads. Where sometimes you need a little bit of nastiness and a little bit more of a killer instinct in them.
Yeah. In terms of the future, then obviously there's going to be this instance where hopefully we get over this current situation, but I think the impact of this is not just going to dissolve immediately once the coronavirus is been and gone. What do you think the impact that this could have on the non-league game could be over the next, potentially year, 2 years? Obviously, clubs not making revenue. I mean, this summer initially would have been a summer where the European Championships would have been happening. The bar would have been ticking over. There would have been more football to be played. Players will be in different scenarios. Some may have lost their jobs, may have been out of pocket themselves. Have you thought much about the impact that this may have on the non-league game?
I think it's going to be massive, and it's not just going to be non-league. I think you'll see League One, League Two clubs, because I think a few of them are only just about surviving at the moment. But for non-league especially, it's going to be a real tough time. And I have conversations with John Batch at the moment, the chairman, and obviously I think they've had to cancel like 2 or 3 months of the bar bookings. I know how much we rely on the hall bookings, the bar take-ins. Obviously, we don't know how it's going to affect my playing budget next year. If we're looking at for a Canvey point of view, it's a nightmare situation, really. And I think we're a very well-run football club, and I'd like to think that we're gonna be fine as a football club. But I know now that there's going to be a lot of clubs probably panicking at this stage, more so than majority of the clubs will be in that situation where they've probably invested quite heavily, having the backing of with the pitch hires. Like you look at these sides who have got Astro pitches, they would have been hired out all summer probably. Yeah, there'd certainly be a knock-on effect with that. That might bring clubs back closer. If we're looking at as a playing budget point of view, it might make it a bit more of a level playing field. So who knows? It's just a real tough time, and not just football. Football's probably probably the least important thing at the moment, and it's hard because we're all football people and we want to be back out on the training pitch, on the pitch supporting or watching our team play. So I think that's good mentally. I know I'm struggling at the moment. My Tuesday, Thursday, Saturdays, you sort of bred into you that that's your football time, and for that to be taken away, it's tough. So yeah, it's going to be very interesting in the next, well, like you say, it could be a couple of years where we really know the impact of it. But I think short term, maybe not so bad short term, but I think the long term effect could be quite severe.
Yeah, that certainly has the potential to be very serious, as you say. I mean, how has it affected yourself and the squad?
Yeah, so well, the players are actually doing their bit as well, and the staff. So we're actually owed a week's money from the end of the season, and I put a message to the group today, and we've decided to donate our week's salary to NHS. We want to try and be seen that we're doing our little bit, and we're thinking of all those NHS people out there putting their lives at risk for us at this real tough time. So, like I say, hopefully we'll be okay, and everyone's going to be safe and well.
Wow, that's an amazing gesture. So yeah, fantastic. Thanks to all the lads. I'm sure on behalf of all the supporters. Thanks to the lads. Thanks to yourselves and your staff for that amazing gesture. That's really good of you. Just finishing up then and talking about the supporters. Do you have any final words for the supporters at all?
Yeah, listen, everyone stay home, stay safe, and really hope everyone's just abiding by the rules. Really, it's real tough. Obviously, the weather's lovely now, and you want to be out and about, getting on that Canvey seaside, and enjoying the beach down there. But no, listen, I hope everyone stays safe. All the family, we've all got relatives close. We've got older parents and grandparents still, and we're just trying to keep everyone safe and well. And hopefully, we can all come through this on a positive, and we can get back and be singing on those terraces very soon.
That's great. Well, thanks very much for your time, Mark. All the best. All the best to your family as well. And look forward to seeing you in person when the season gets back underway, whenever that will be.
Cheers, Glenn. No problem.